Hello everybody, welcome to the NEOC Network webinar, and today we are going to talk about visibility first security. I work currently as CISO at Morgan State University, and I'm a security advisor to multiple companies such as NEOC and others. And as CISOs, it's our job to have a blueprint to increase our defense systems. So that's me here, but I'm going to hide myself. All what you need is to do just look at the slides, and together, hopefully, we're going to have a great session. If you're ready, I am ready too. Let's start. All right. When we look at 2026, we started fast. You see all the geopolitical issues. You see the threat landscape changes in the news. So the legacy defense strategy is hitting a point of diminishing returns. What does this mean for us as CISOs? Even though only a bit more than 2 months has passed, I noticed that we have a dual time risk. It's still a primary risk multiplier, the tax nature, AI. AI is everywhere, and AI-driven automation, the increased use of tools such as Manus AI, Optim AI, brings lots of velocity and scale. The local dominance. Again, what is local? Living off the land techniques are designed well to bypass your traditional perimeter defenses, which creates detection gaps. So, how are we going to protect autonomous AI-driven attacks? For example, in phishing, for years in cybersecurity awareness training, we talked about looking at spell mistakes. We talked about looking for some signs that are really unrealistic. But today, AI can profile your target user through their online presence and craft an email specifically designed to your victim or to the victim. As a result, you as CISO, you as technology manager, have harder challenges to bypass. Is it just that? No. I mean, phishing is still #1 attack vector, but AI is also used to find vulnerabilities automatically. As you all know, it's not a secret anymore. AI is being used to even negotiate ransomware. Deepfake, it is a big issue. Just 3 months ago, I was a guest in a TV show here in the United States at Channel 10, and I showcased live how AI can be used to manipulate even live actions on the spot. So you can go and use your favorite search engine to look at it. But one thing which I want to make very clear is autonomous AI-driven attacks are increased. What else? Ghost in the shell. What is that? It basically, attackers use legitimate admin tools, as you all know, PowerShell, WMI, to stay under the EDR threshold. Yes, antivirus vendors, which I was a CISO previously to one of them, promote that they are the best, they are AI ready, they can catch anything and everything. But the results are clearly showing that they are not sufficient on stopping some attacks which cause trouble. If you don't believe me, look at the news. In a traditional security, we are depending on the logs. What is the logs? Basically, you go to your SIEM, you go to your EDR vendor, you go to your antivirus vendor, you look at your logs, trying to see what's happening. But one thing is for sure, sometimes depending on your network traffic, you might have hundreds of gigs of data, logs passing through, which basically creates log blindness. And as we mentioned 3 minutes ago, non-security tool is sufficient today by itself to stop the hackers, to attack us, because attackers are like water. they always find a way to bypass. So they need to be successful 1% of the time, and that 1% can cause you or any other CISO or technology manager a big damage. And when we look today in the news, just last year, based on, I think it was a IBM data breach report, the cost of cyber attack was $4.6 million per incident, which there was an increase of 10% compared to 2024. So how can we look at the compromised log principles? What can we do? Basically, the attacker playbook is clear. Disable local logging, ensure agents immediately are in control of that as soon as they compromise. They will look at suppressing high volume telemetry during the acceleration. They will inject noise. The more logs you have, the more you have, the less you will hear. And they will try to overwhelm your SOC analyst. And once they get access, they will try to delete legitimate logs so they can hide. I mean, this is not new. I used to teach hacking classes years ago. I think my first hacking class was in 2008, 2009 for EC Council. And back then we used to talk about deleting logs. Today, many years later, I think 25 plus years later, 20 years plus later, we see that unfortunately 82% of breaches just in 2025 involve some form of the log manipulation or deletion by threat actors. Basically, the threat actors are still using the techniques, the main techniques from the past with advanced features. So what is the core principle? First of all, visibility. As you all know, you cannot secure what you cannot see. Visibility is still the prerequisite of all your security operations. Control. Where visibility produces control, without absolute awareness, policy enforcement, this is not complete. Putting visibility and control together will help you to have resilience. Control proceeds the resilience, where it gives you the ability to recover, depends on the integrity of the visibility layer. So you need to have a great visibility. But there is an unalerted able truth. So let's talk about that. Why logs are no longer enough? I'm going to give you some examples where you can analyze the fragility of log-centric telemetry in advanced threat environments. So this is a simple comparison source of truth. By the way, I just noticed you cannot see the metrics, but the first one is here, temporary silence. In a standard log, it's, the sort of truth is low, the endpoint telemetry is medium, the packet level data is high. When you look at east-west coverage, the standards are partial, the endpoint telemetry is none, but when you look at the packet level data, it's full. And again, the metric for third line here is forensic fidelity. It's infrared. It is totally based on action. And this is fully on ground truth. And the last line here says forensic value. Usually forensic investigators will look at metadata only. They look at system calls and is full payload ready. So what does this mean? It means logs can be manipulated. We talked about that. And one other thing, if you use the right tool, such as networks, the wire does not lie. If you put some tabs, if you capture the logs, if you look at the logs, then the wire has everything what you need from not just application layer, your antivirus, not just your layer 3, your firewall, could be layer 2 depending on your firewall, but sometimes even from data link. How? The team is going to put some QR code later. You can scan it and learn more about it. Network DNA. What is network DNA? A full fidelity packet capture acts as the DNA of your infrastructure. And this will help you to enable retrospective reply on any malicious session without absolute accuracy. What does this mean? It means you need a packet level truth. Network packets present the ultimate unrelatable source of truth, which is unlike logs. That's why the wire never lies. It is immutable because, hey, packets cannot be retroactively alerted by attackers. It has full fidelity because it gives the power to your forensic team to reconstruction of malicious session. And you have always a chance to have verification because it provides you the independent verification of your endpoint security claim. This is not where hackers can bypass. They can bypass your EDR, they can bypass your logs, but they cannot bypass that. Again, what are the other common architecture blind spots for us, security teams? Encrypted traffic. Today, more than 90% of malware use encryption to bypass standard inspection points. When you look at the east-west traffic, lateral movement hybrid cloud environments that stays behind the north-south perimeter. And of course, shadow IT. I mean, I worked in a global bank. I worked at Microsoft visiting Fortune companies, governments. I worked in a cybersecurity company where SMBs didn't know what to do. Right now, I work in a university, but putting all these three different vectors together, shadow IT is always a blind spot. And you, as the security team member, have to be aware of those blind spots, especially if there is only 10% legacy attacks. It means you should somehow know what attackers hide within the TLS tunnels. And here's a QR code for you. Please scan. You will definitely learn how we can help you to look at this traffic. What is being spent in your network? Who's using how much WhatsApp traffic, for example, or what kind of traffic is going to your network is encrypted, and which of this encryption is not known for you. So to have visibility, you have to integrate NDR, network detection and response, beside your EDR. And as you can see, I think this is based on Gartner, the adoption trend is going higher and higher and higher. So visibility is not just in the endpoint, but you have to also have it in network where networks can help you. What else? We have to look in the defense in depth for 2026. We talked about endpoint, we talked about network, but you have to also integrate identity into this unified fabric. Why? Because as you know, phishing attacks usually aims to steal your identity, your username, password. Today, if you go to harabinpound.com, if you go to dark web, you will see many username passwords for sale. And as you know, most of those for sale items, unfortunately, is either not MFA protected or has password to be used where attackers do use it. What else? When you look at the defense in depth, we have to have workload visibility. So who is looking at your cloud native monitoring? When you look at defense in depth, you have to have AI enrichment. And please, please, please be aware of AI because it's a mega word at the moment, trend word that everybody is using. Some companies use simple LLMs open source, and they claim themselves they are fully AI ready, where others, they are just Gen AI, and they just integrate, basic AI elements, but promoting themselves as AI ready. My suggestion to you is be aware. And of course, how you via validating. So in defense in that, you have to have continuous validation and real-time control for effectiveness of securing your environment. Till now, we spoke about two different elements: the current cybersecurity structure of 2026, the gaps. But now, how can you close those gaps? First of all, let's talk about the CISO metrics. In an unmanaged network segment, representing the highest risk for silent dwell time, without packet capture at the core switches, lateral movement remains the theoretical threat until the data is already on the dark web. I just gave an example a few seconds ago. So we have to minimize the impact, which is the incomplete investigation and inability to validate threat intelligence. So while you have this, you have to have also an attack surface management CTI to complete the picture. We have to eliminate the critical blind spot. You know that 90% of the traffic is already encrypted. We already spoke that shadow IT, regarding of the industry you work, is still there. And unfortunately, unmanaged SaaS and third-party API integration can bypass your security level. And if you don't have proper network visibility, it's hard for you to detect those shadow IT elements. We talk about east-west traffic. Unfortunately, most organizations monitor the edge, but they are blind to lateral movement within the data center or hybrid cloud cores. If you don't believe me, please go see what happened to Google Cloud, to AWS, to Microsoft Cloud customers, some of them, of course, last year. Unfortunately, one of the most important things that we security teams forget is using cloud is shared responsibility. And if you just rely on your cloud vendor without adding your additional controls, your additional monitoring into it, you will only harm yourself. So we talk about the dark web, but how does the dark traffic crisis appears? When we look specifically at 2025 and the beginning of this year, attackers are leveraging encrypted tunnels as their primary transport mechanism. And this didn't change this year. The ability to selectively decrypt and analyze metadata is no longer optional. It is a core. I remember writing some course years ago to Palo Alto, and I remember they used to have a module which encrypts and decrypts the traffic back then. But years has passed. Firewalls are now core components of every security teams, but it's sad for me to still talk about the need of that. So you need to have a proper strategy, which gives you a metadata analysis plus a selective decryption at the edge. Why selective? Because encrypting 90% of your traffic, of course, is going to decrypting 90% of your traffic, of course, is going to cause some trouble. But if you have the opportunity to decrypt only that what you are suspicious of, this can increase maybe, or this can help you maybe not increase. This might help you to detect an attack vector, which hides the malware within a encrypted traffic. You can just follow this. Encryption increases blind spots. You have to monitor the network traffic. You have to apply encrypted threat analytics. You have to use deep packet inspection metadata where possible. This will help you identify the risk signals, and with your NDR, you can act intelligently. And our marketing team is going to add the QR code for you to learn more if you need to. Okay, there it is. Thank you, Nadim. NetOps and SecOps alignment. This is your third pillar. What do I mean with that? We have to have MTTR reductions. Basically, we have to have a unified model where you have to see what's happening. This is a siloed log-only traffic. And then you have to have the unified visibility first traffic. As you can see, it is saving you more than 18 hours time. Shared visibility, reducing the operational fraction by providing a single source of truth for both network performance and security incident validation. Let me read it again. Shared visibility, I am highlighting it for you, reduces operational friction by providing a single source of truth for both your network performance and, most importantly, your security incident validation. This is really, really, really important for all of you. So we have to reduce the operational friction because you have to have one team, regardless where you are. One team wins one truth. The elimination of the war room blame game during critical outages are important. I hope you will never be in a war room, but in my previous roles and being part of a cyber investigation team, I saw many Fortune companies that you use today in their war room were blaming, oh, back then I was Microsoft, vendor B was blaming Microsoft. Microsoft sales team was blaming vendor C. It is not a finger pointing game. It is a first root cause determination, which we need to correlate network and security telemetry. And of course, we as CISOs now, we have to have a unified budget and architecture planning for more resilient infrastructure because finger pointing is not going to change anything. Damage has already been done. Of course, for now, we can learn from both experiences, and that's why I try to create a slide deck for you, so you can listen and I cannot take you to this war room, but I'm telling you what happened on those war rooms. Let me open the camera so I can tell you a story. Years ago, in a very, very, very large oil company, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. We were in a war room. Microsoft was there, IBM was there, many other incident response companies was there. And I remember the CIO walking to the room, laughing, saying, hey, having his phone in his hand, saying, hey, you know what? We are back to normal. It was just a false news to relieve the stress of shareholders. Everything was still down. We had to look at the problems. We had to look at the logs. We had to work with other vendors to bring the network up. It wasn't a short game. It was a big game. It wasn't a short time. It was a big time, but we did while working together, while reducing the operational friction. Another example, I remember flying to one of the African countries. One of the biggest banks in Africa was hacked back then, and it was through a simple phishing attack. Back then, there was no AI. In war room, my first question was, how many admins do you have? The answer was 4. I'm like, can I see them all in this room right now? War room is that room where you usually ask to call only selected people and see what happened. And we found out from simple logs that they had more than multiple admins because threat actors, they created roots. And then when they created that, they deleted the logs. So basically, some of the stuff that I shared in the slides for you are 100% from real life. Today, me sitting in this chair doesn't change anything. I will bring those experiences with me, but I'm still depending on some great tools to improve my security. And for that, you need to end-to-end visibility. Now, let's go back to slides and continue. What can you do? Of course, we have to build a strategic roadmap. And what is the strategic roadmap? As I mentioned in the very beginning, your roadmap should be built in the visibility first framework. You have to construct a resilient, forensic ready security posture. What does this mean? Again, you're going to see some QR code. You can have a forensic ready log collection, or you should ask for forensic ready log collection from your network visibility vendor. And when you look at your network visibility vendors, you have to make sure that you have no packet drops, because losing a single packet via drop, via bug in the software can leave a blind spot in your environment. Ensure your vendor is giving you every packet that you need. It's like when you go to a bank and when you get your jewelry and you put it in a safe, you want it as is back, right? If they give you, let's say you have 10 rings, but if they give you 9 rings back, is this a good result for you? Of course, if they give you 11 rings back, it might look good for you, but it might be just falling from another safe into yours with mistake, and you might be classified as a thief stealing someone else's ring. So if you put 10, you need 10. By the way, thank you. I can see someone scanned the QR code already. You're wonderful. What else? We have to create, I'm going to share 4 phases roadmap with you. First, you have to know what's happening. And how can you do that? Via auditing. What does auditing help you? It will help you identify visibility gaps in hybrid cloud and encrypted segments. You have to map your high-risk API flows. Know your gaps. 2, integrity. You have to deploy immutable packet capture at core distribution layers, establishing ground truth and baseline. For that, you need proper network capture adapter for proper analysis. Again, please ensure your packet capture is 100%. If you lose packets, this is not good for you. Yes, you might be buying the best, the most expensive brand, but it means nothing. Just imagine driving a Ferrari, but the brake is only working at 50%. Is this good enough? Of course not. Phase 3, synergy. It means no matter tool you're using, you have to integrate it. Integrate your NDR with your SOAR, your SIEM. Automate forensic extraction for AI speed response. I told you right now I work as a CISO in a large university. And that's what was my first roadmap. I like to increase my security via increasing my visibility. And can I be honest? I did this in the bank. I did this at Microsoft when I was going to my customers. I did this years ago in Australia when I had CUIT training and solutions. Visibility, visibility, visibility. Fast forward. We have to build resilience. Look, there is no 100% security. But all what we can do is, or all what we should do is, make threat actors' job harder. We have to create resilience. Continuous validation of visibilities, having proper SLAs, moving to a productive, hunting first security posture is going to increase your security. We talked about reducing the MTTR. So building, or more importantly, transforming the SOC efficiently through high fidelity data should be part of your core security structure. You have to have efficient transformation. You have to move away from legacy, log-centric, to visibility first mindset. Your mindset should also move from 100% security to zero trust. Your mindset should also include growth mindset, which includes being ready for any cyber attack. now. What else? We remember I shared the slide earlier. You have to be able to measure your impact on response. If you still have 192 hours MTTR, then you are doing something wrong. You have to have mean time to repair metrics much lesser. And to do that, to calculate your mean time to repair, which measures the average time required to repair your system or equipment after a file or your network, this is the simple forensic efficiency factor. No. Honestly, I don't want you to sit down and calculate this. This is basically implementing visibility first mindset with proper tool set to improve your security. And then, this was also my previous role, board level. Remember the CIO example I gave you? Can you independently verify a breach timeline without relying on potential compromise logs? I mean, your board should ask you this: how long would a sophisticated AI-driven threat remain undetected in our blind spots? Those are the board questions that need to be asked you. So this is usually asked to me in most of my engagement. And that's why I selected top 2 to share with you. You as CISO, you as network manager, SOC manager, have these questions always in your mind and be ready to answer those where possible. Before I go, please ensure you have future-proof security. Visibility is not a tool. It is a strategy. As you all know, today we are in the age of AI. The only unalterable truth is the packet. The organizations that win or will win in 2026 are the ones they can see. Your strategy session is complete, and I'm more than happy to take any questions if you have any. As you know, I'm a security advisor for Neox and some other companies, but I'm a full-time CISO in an organization. My job is honestly to share my experiences, and I only do it for the products that I love. With this, we came to the end of the session, and I would like you to scan Neox Networks website. I have a free ebook if you want to read about OT security. Again, you can go follow us at LinkedIn. I think we are not going to take any questions today, but please reach out. We have a wonderful team in Germany, in US, in California, in New York. I don't know where Larry is based, but we are across all time zones. We have a team in Germany, in Turkey. We have a team in Middle East. We have a partner in Korea and Australia, so we are a global. Neox is a global company, and they are happy to answer all your questions. And if you have any security questions, any advisory questions, I, Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, the president of Global CISO Forum, I'm always happy to be part of your journey, help you increasing your security awareness. Feel free to be part of Global CISO Forum. You can follow us at LinkedIn or via online as well. With this, I'm coming to the end of the session. Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to see most of you in my next webinar. You can watch this in YouTube, and you can follow Neox Networks at YouTube as well. Thank you very much.